You know, Tony, every time we walk into this shop, I think about all the years we've been coming here. You were here when Calvin and I were just little pups, trying to figure out who we were and where we belonged in this neighborhood.
I remember those days, Frankie. Even back then, you always looked out for everybody around you. If someone needed help, you were already there before they had to ask. I think that's why this neighborhood has always respected you. Not because of what you've done, but because of how you always treated other dogs.
Tony's right. Frankie never forgot where he came from. That's why dogs trust him. Around here, respect isn't something you ask for, you earn it. Now, whether every story Frankie tells happened exactly the way he remembers it, that's a completely different conversation.
Calvin, memories are important. Sometimes you gotta add a little detail so people understand the significance. A good story doesn't change the truth, it just helps the truth dress better.
Respect isn't something you ask for, Frankie. It's something you earn one day at a time. A good name comes from how you treat other dogs, how you keep your word, and how you take care of your own. But that's the Frankie I've always known. A dog with a lot of confidence, a lot of stories, and a heart in the right place. The years change, the styles change, but family and loyalty, those things never go out of fashion.
You know, Tony, you just made me realize something. A barber doesn't just cut fur, a barber sees everything. Every dog that walks through that door leaves a little piece of their story behind. That's why I always respected you, Tony. You're not just a barber, you're a historian. You know who comes in, who left, who got a bad trim, and who suddenly showed up wearing a new collar.
Frankie, Tony cuts fur. He doesn't run a neighborhood intelligence operation. The only thing Tony tracks is who keeps moving around in his chair, making him miss a spot.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The best information comes from dogs nobody suspects. Nobody pays attention to the barber, Calvin. That's why the barber knows everything. You know, Tony, sitting in this chair brings back memories. This neighborhood wasn't always this quiet. Back then, we had some characters walking these streets. Dogs you never forgot once you met them.
You boys remember Benny the Shadow Mancuso? Some dogs leave behind a photograph. Benny left behind a shadow that nobody could explain.
Wow, Tony. You remember Benny the Shadow Mancuso? Benny was a dog who moved through this neighborhood like a ghost. I saw him disappear once with my own eyes. 1 second he was there, the next second nobody knew where he went.
I knew Benny. He was a good dog, always friendly and always had a smile on his face. Funny thing was, he always disappeared right when his wallet was needed.
Fellas, it was a neighborhood barbecue. Everybody was having a good time. Stories were being told. Plates were getting passed around. Then came the moment nobody wanted to hear. The bill hit the table, and before anybody could even pick up a pen, Benny was gone. Benny the Shadow vanished like he had a secret exit nobody knew about. Dogs searched everywhere. Behind the fence, near the bushes, even around the side of the doghouse, nothing.
Frankie, you always did know how to tell a story. But the truth is, Benny wasn't a mystery. He was a good dog. He just had a habit of leaving whenever somebody mentioned paying.
Frankie, I gotta admit, Benny the Shadow was one of a kind. But after hearing this story, I don't think he was a shadow. I think he was just really good at disappearing whenever the check showed up.
Frankie, you always remember Benny as the master of disappearing. But I remember a night that even you might not believe. It was at Luigi's restaurant in their private dining room. 20 dogs around one table with one door, and Benny sitting right in the middle. Dinner was over, everybody was laughing, and then the waiter walked in with the check. Frankie, I looked down for 1 second and Benny was gone. No door opened, no chair moved. He just disappeared. 3 days later, Benny walked into my shop like nothing ever happened. I asked him where he went that night. He looked at me, smiled, and said, "Tony, sometimes a dog just needs a little quiet time."
So, Benny disappeared from a locked room, avoided paying the bill, and called it quiet time? Frankie, somehow you made a runaway tab sound like a heroic adventure.
You boys remember Charlie Handshake Bellucci? Some dogs leave behind a photograph. Charlie left behind a reputation. The kind that walked into the room 5 minutes before he did.
Tony, I never saw Charlie raise his voice. He walked into a room where two dogs hadn't spoken in years. 5 minutes later, they'd be shaking paws like they were brothers again. Didn't matter if it was an argument over property lines, family business, or a feud that had been passed down for generations. When Charlie Handshake Bellucci said, "Enough," that was enough. Even the 5 families respected Charlie Handshake's word because they knew if they ignored him, they'd lose something money could never buy, the respect of the whole neighborhood.
You boys want to know the moment I knew Charlie Handshake was different? It happened right here in this very shop. 2 dogs walked through that door one afternoon. Dogs who hadn't spoken in years. They sat in those chairs, right where you two are sitting now, and you could feel the tension in the room. One dog said he was right. The other dog said he was right. Both had their reasons. Both had their pride. And neither one was willing to take the first step. Then the door opened and Charlie Handshake walked in. He didn't know the details, didn't need to. He looked at both dogs and said, "How long are we going to let something old keep us from something good?" The 2 dogs who walked through that door that day were Rocco the Brick Belafonte and Vinny the Hammer DeLuca. And believe me, boys, nobody thought those 2 would ever be in the same room without sparks flying.
Tony, I remember hearing about those 2. Dogs used to cross the street just to avoid being caught between them.
That's why what Charlie Handshake did was so special. He didn't pick a side. He didn't tell Rocco he was wrong or Vinny he was wrong. He just looked at them and reminded them, "You two have spent so much time proving who's right, you forgot you used to be friends." Then Rocco reached out his paw. Then Vinny looked at him. And after all those years, they should pause right here in the shop.
Rocco the Brick and Vinny the Hammer, 2 dogs who couldn't stand each other. And Charlie the Handshake Bellucci got them to shake paws. Amazing.
So you're telling me Charlie the Handshake Bellucci solved the biggest feud in neighborhood history inside a barbershop? Tony, maybe you should charge extra for conflict resolution.
Well, Frankie, I'd say another successful rescue. Now it's Calvin's turn. That newspaper's been hiding him long enough.
Tony, do you remember Nicky nickname Russo? Around this neighborhood, you didn't earn your nickname. Nicky assigned it. Once Nicky gave you a name, your old one was retired.
That's exactly how it worked. The biggest French bulldog in the whole neighborhood, Nicky looked at him once and said, "You're Sprinkles." Poor dog answered to Sprinkles for 35 years.
Nicky didn't ask permission. He didn't explain. He didn't negotiate. He looked at the toughest dog in the neighborhood, point one paw and say, "Sprinkles."
Hold on, you're telling me the biggest bulldog in the neighborhood answered to Sprinkles?
Yep. Here's the crazy part. After about a month, the nickname fit, and get this, Sprinkles wasn't even the strangest one. That's how Nicky worked. He'd walk up to a dog, look him up and down, point one paw and say, "Pickles," then he'd walk away. The dog then yelled, "Hey, my name is Bruno." Then, get this, Nicky never even turned around. He just said, "Not anymore."
One afternoon, his own mother walked into this very shop. She looked around and asked, "Anybody seen Pickles?" She called him Pickles too. His own mother changed his name from Bruno to Pickles, just because of Nicky nickname Russo. By Monday morning, even Bruno introduced himself as Pickles. That's when everybody knew. Nobody questioned it, not even Bruno. Nicky had spoken. Oh, and that wasn't even Nicky's best work. There was one poor dog. Nicky gave him 7 different nicknames, and by the end, that dog answered to every single one of them.
Wait a minute. You could yell Beamer, he'd turn around. You could yell Lefty, same dog. You could yell Sunshine, same dog. You could yell Professor, still the same dog.
Calvin, nobody remembered his real name. I'm not even sure he remembered it. That's the effect Nicky nicknames had on everybody.
By the end, he answered to every one of them, unless his wife called. Then I'd wait, because whatever she called him, that's who he was that day.
I've been thinking, we keep calling him Nicky nicknames Russo, but how do we know Nicky was really his name?
Calvin, around this neighborhood, nobody ever asked. You just called him Nicky. Nobody questioned Nicky nicknames Russo.
Wait a second. If Nicky gave everybody their nickname, who gave Nicky his?
Funny thing, every dog remembered who Nicky nicknamed, but nobody remembered who nicknamed Nicky. Some mysteries are better left alone. You boys know something? I've been cutting and grooming fur in this shop since 1957. I've forgotten more nicknames than most dogs ever had, but you know something, I never forgot who they really were. You know, Calvin, every time you're in this chair, it's an easy haircut and groom. Every time Frankie's here, it's a situation. First there's opinions, then there's concerns, then somehow we're all having a meeting.